Hey, it's Rachel. It's Rachel Kohler Dog Training, and I'm here with Susan with Pack Leader Dog, and we are here for our weekly Q&A.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Miss Susan?
Oh, I'm super excited. It's my first day back at work. And I do have to tell you, I just slipped right back into there. Like, it feels like I never left, which is good. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
It's just nice to know, like, okay, I still have my skills or, like, whatever. Because, I don't know. After 2.5 weeks, I'm like, A, am I going to remember things? Of course I will. But B, am I going to want to do the things?
Mm-hmm.
Because after 2.5 weeks off, I did not want to do the things. But once you got it back in, you're like, oh yeah, this is fun. Okay, cool.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna say it's got to help, with who you've got back. You've got Miss Kira back for boarding,
Yeah.
so that's got to help make you feel a little more excited about it. Because while we love what we do, it's still work, So, that's great. Let's see.
Aww.
Trying to get to it. Doris says, "We miss you. Thank you for helping us. I did not realize you were off."
Yeah, Doris. Oh, it's been forever. Doris actually, she's done 2 packages of one-on-ones with me, with her and Nash, and she did take a pause. She wants to do another like package deal of those, but she wants to wait, I think, until the fall. She's gonna take the summer off. But I miss you too, because I went from seeing you like regularly, and now it's been a while. But yeah, of course, I'm always here for you to reach out. But I was technically off.
Well, as off as you can be when you're running a business. But you didn't get to.
I did see Noodles and Dupree though.
Yes, on their birthday.
On their birthday, yeah.
So stinking cute. I love that. That it was their birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday! You're done with training.
They had bacon and eggs that morning.
They didn't have noodles?
No, because Noodles can't eat noodles.
Oh, you're right. That'd be messed up. My bad.
Yeah.
But that's pretty funny. But no, I know that feeling. So when I have a group of dogs graduate training with me, it's not been smart. So it's literally been one group graduates, and then that next Monday, new dogs start. Going into that first day of school is like, do I know how to train a dog, Susan? Because for the past probably 3 to 4 weeks-ish, I'm working with dogs who are trained, and we're just proofing the training pretty much. And then I start with a new group, and I'm like, do I know what I'm doing?
Yes, thank you. I have Kira, and she's doing the things, and I'm able to say like out and then no and correct. She doesn't. And I thought to myself, how did I train this dog? How does she know how to do these things?
Oh my goodness. It's definitely something that I've thought a lot. I know we've talked about it before, but it is. And it's really cool because clearly we're doing something right because it works.
Yeah. And not to like, I'm monopolizing a lot of the conversation.
Oh, you're
I talked to Rachel on the voice memos a little bit earlier. So Miss Kira, I just got her this morning. We probably got home at like 10:30 a.m. And we went down in the basement just before the show. So the show, like we're so football.
Before our show.
At like 5:20-ish. So we went in the basement. She had not been in my basement since she ended training 2.5 weeks ago. Okay? So we're sitting there, and I'm on my phone, and Kira's just like, what are we doing? Like, because none of the toys are out. She's just like walking around. And she's like, fine. And she goes over and she puts her feet up on one of the, I always say the wrong thing, one of the jumps. And I'm like, good, because she offers me a behavior. I'm going to mark it. So I go over and reward her. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she stands up on it, like puts all of her feet on it, and then puts only her front feet down and puts her back feet on it. And I'm like, good. But like, you haven't been here for 2.5 weeks. I haven't asked you to do nothing. And you come over and you offer that to me? Like, how cool is it? So cool.
She's like, I need to work, Susan. Like, did you forget? I can show you. Like, forget what we do after your vacation. I'll just go like hop on this jump real quick.
That's so great.
So real quick, Susan. Oh, sorry. You have something?
No.
Okay, I got questions for you. So we've got a watcher who's been having some issues leaving comments on our live. So they sent me an email, and I'm going to read that email out so we can talk about it now.
Okay.
They've got an almost 1-year-old Cava Yorkie, who is still a horrible chewer. Furniture, tissues, socks, receipts, plastic bags. Sounds like pretty much anything. She steals stuff from any and everywhere, tables and trash cans. Doesn't matter, and then she eats it. She says that her husband says she does it as a game, but they feel so stupid because they can't catch her and get her back. She's very fast. Sometimes we'll give it for a treat, but she really just loves to chew stuff up. And then I think there was one more, so let me make sure that was all. Yeah, just again, commenting on the destructive chewing. She got a pair of pants out the laundry and chewed a big hole in them, and is just basically chewing up everything. She's almost 1 years old.
Wait, she's almost what?
Almost 1.
Oh, okay, I thought you said 1, and then I thought you said 10. And I was like, no, I thought she was 1. So that's a very, very dangerous behavior. Not only are we destructive, but we're also ingesting some of these things, and that can be really, really harmful, especially with any dog, but it's a smaller dog, so they don't need a lot for them to get blocked. Not saying it's going to be easy. Dog training is simple, not easy, but I would say that we need to implement a lot more structure in our day, because left to her own devices, she's making really terrible choices. Once you start implementing structure, you're going to see the dog's mindset change. So just like Miss Kira over here, she was a nutbag. Her behavior was just like whiny, anxious. Your dog's behavior is destructive, just chewing stuff. So they just don't know what else to do with themselves, so they're going to do whatever they want, right? And I'm sure that your dog thinks it's a game sometimes, especially when you try to chase them and get whatever it is out of their mouth. But what I would do is implement structure at first. What is structure? Utilizing the kennel when you can't watch her. And when she's out of the kennel, we're always on a leash, and we're working on commands, and we're holding you accountable. If you can't work on commands at that time, but you're in your home, like let's say you have to do office work or something, and you feel bad because she's been in the kennel for like 5 hours, you can take her out, go potty. Now she's on a leash on a back tie on a place bed, or she's on a leash and in the room with you. So you could like walk off the room, so at least you can watch her. But we really need a way to be able to hold her accountable for good behavior. And the best way to do that in the beginning is structure and utilizing the kennel and having a leash on her. It is a lot of work at first. I'm not going to lie about that. But it gets easier as you go. The more work you put in now, and the more structure you put in now, the more slack you could be later. The more slack you are now, the longer the training is going to take, and you might never get there. Sorry, it was a lot. I could go.
Don't apologize. No, that was good. Don't apologize, Susan. That's what we're here to do, is answer questions. So yeah, everything was great. And then I'll go ahead and give some of my thoughts on it, mainly all the same. But yeah, it's going to be 2 things right now: management and correcting the behavior. Now, talking with this person, they're a good bit of ways away from me, so I'm not able to train with them. So I have suggested they look to find a balance trainer in their area. But until then, we're going to manage the situation and correct it if we can. So by management, that means we want her to not have the opportunity to chew up these things. We're going to do that by doing exactly what Susan said. We're going to crate her, and we're going to have her out on the leash. The more time she does something, the more she's going to continue to do it. So dogs think in pictures. So she chews up your pants. That was a lot of fun for her. Had a great time. Took a picture, added that to her memory bank. Feeling bored the next day? Let me look through my memory bank. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go chew up some laundry. That was a lot of fun. So doing her having the opportunity to do it over and over and over is becoming a game, a game. Like she doesn't know what else to do with herself. This is what my memory tells me I can do. Chew up things. She doesn't have any good memories to pick from because she's had the freedom to make all of these bad choices. She's not earned that freedom because what does she do with it? Chews up your house. So, management. That being said, having your very chewy dog dragging a leash in your house or being attached to something on a leash, she's probably going to chew that leash. So, what are we going to do? We're going to correct that. It's not going to be fun to chew your leash. There's different corrections you can do. For an owner, easiest one would probably be the compressed air. You find that at your local pet store or off of Amazon. But if she chews her leash, you'll say no and spray the compressed air kind of in her, like, what do you call it, shoulder blade area. You don't want to hit her like right in the face, but the point is to startle her. She's going to think, wow, that sucked. Choose on her leash again in 5 minutes and you get compressed air again. She's going to learn that does not equal something fun. I shouldn't do that anymore. So if we catch her in the act of chewing something, we want to find a valuable correction for her. But we really want to try to just not let her chew, not give her the opportunity right now, while you look for a balanced trainer in your area. And then one more thing, now I'm talking a bunch, would be, and I'm stealing this from you. Now, while this dog is a bit older, I don't think it only relates to puppies, but I know something you've said before is in the beginning of training. I think maybe you were talking about puppies. I can't remember. But in the beginning, whether that be their life or training.
Puppies, I think I know what you're going to say. Puppies and untrained dogs are
same
equal.
Thing, right? So in the beginning, whether that be of their life or their training journey, there's going to be a lot of correcting. You're going to kind of feel like a jerk because no, you can't chew my pants. No, you can't chew your leash. No, you can't jump on the counter and steal whatever, right? So you're going to feel like a jerk because all you're doing is correcting, but that leaves you with all of the good stuff. So I know I stole that super awesome quote for you, but it's so true because especially when you're not able to, when you don't have a trainer and you're not actively training your dog and giving them treats and teaching them to do things, all that's left is teaching them what not to do, and it was really cool. A little side note here, and then I've got some questions to read and I want to hear if you have any comments, but I had a puppy program on Saturday and it was exactly that. We were sitting there talking and I correct the puppy for chewing on the bed and then for chewing on their leash and maybe my treat pouch or something. I don't remember, but it was like a couple corrections back to back. And I told the owners, I'm like, I know it seems like I'm being a jerk right now. These are all things he can't be doing. So what did he do? He walked over, laid down and took a nap. And then it was really cute because he woke himself up from the nap and put himself in the crate. It was adorable. But I'm like, this is a real life example. I told him what we didn't want, and that left us with the good stuff. What happened was he was just overtired. It was nap time. You can't chew on things when you're tired or, anytime, but that's not how we deal with that. You go take a nap instead.
So great. I love it.
It's really cool.
Yeah. It's
cool to see it.
Yes. And for the owner to see it too.
Right. Awesome. I'm like, guys, I promise I'm not being a jerk, but it was really cool. Do you have anything to add to that before I read another comment?
Oh, no, you can go on.
Okay, sorry. I know we just talked a lot there. So real quick, the person watching whose email I read, if you have any follow-up questions in the next 15-ish minutes while we're live, shoot me an email and I can just read it off of there since you can't comment live right now. Oh, and Susan, you forgot to tell me to say this in the beginning. Anybody watching this as a replay, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. We will still see that comment and we'll read it out loud next week. You didn't remind me, Susan.
My bad.
Okay. All right, let me read this. Can you see this and read it? I just talked a lot.
Oh, okay. So Doris said, when yesterday, Nash was at the lake and people had their dog off leash and kept getting closer and closer. I was like, is your dog friendly? And they did not answer. So I kept asking. Nash and I were able to move away from the interaction and he did not react. I put him in a heel and said, let's go. Finally, they got their dog and everything was good. We made good choices. That's freaking awesome, Doris. You are telling me a lot of wins.
Right. You know why she's having all these wins?
Because she's putting in the work.
Exactly. I mean, she had an okay trainer too, but she does the work. Doris is awesome. That is so cool. Sorry that you were in that super yucky situation. I wish that people would be more responsible with their dogs, but luckily you were you and you handled it
Yeah.
amazingly. As I've seen you do in other fun situations at the pet store. So that's awesome.
It's awesome.
Deborah says, "Hey guys."
Hey, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
Hope all is well.
Doria says, "I was totally prepared."
Of course. That's how, like, that's what you got to do. It's like, be vigilant. Like, I'm sure you're aware of your surroundings. You have Nash, you're looking, you're like, oh, okay, this could be a problem. Yep, okay, addressing this problem. But that's where it's at. Like, I love these stories because, you know, that's why we do what we do. Like, we can only get so far, and then we pass the torch. And you took it and you ran, Doris. You
ran. Sorry, that just made me think, her saying she was totally prepared and made me think of my favorite quote. It started off as my quote of the month at the beginning of the year and then turned into my quote of the year. But it's all I can do is what I can do. And I think you were saying that about like you as a trainer. But like even as owners, when we're with our dogs in public situations or in any situation, all I can do is what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to connect that quote with this example. So like I had a big fear of taking Gaia out in public because I'm like, what do I do if an off-leash charges us? It's gonna really suck. Because if I can't get that dog away first, or if I can't remove myself first, I don't think she's gonna be very nice, right? So I had that fear for so long, but I'm like, I can't worry about other people's reactions or other people's choices. All I can do is what I can do, and that's carry my baton with me, keep an eye out, always have an exit strategy, and that's what I did. And Doris says, "In here." I love that.
Yeah, because one time, you weren't there. No. But
oh my gosh, no, but I think I remember the story. Okay.
It's when we were interning, and
oh, then never mind.
No, it was when we were interning. It was me,
okay.
2 other trainers. Everybody had a dog.
The little one.
Yeah. So the dog I had was, of course, like dog aggressive. Like she was being rehabilitated, but she'd gotten in bad fights. I think it was
the one from Canada.
No.
Was there forever?
Oh no, I love that one. No, the one that got into a fight with the other one at the facility.
Oh, yeah.
The brindle one. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we were walking, and we went down a side street, and here's this little like Bichon or something, like coming up after, and I'm like, oh dear God. So I'm walking, and of course at this point, depends on the situation. Like I could either just say heel to my dog and we keep going. I might say break to my dog because this little dog's behind me, and here I have my dog, right? So I might say break, and then when I say break, I'm gonna put my dog that I have in front of me so that I'm in between this little dog. Little dog's over here, and I'm gonna kick out with my feet. So I'm gonna be like kicking out the little dog, and I'm gonna be the shield around my dog that I have. So I'm gonna be around in a circle, kicking at this little dog. I did not have to do that, thank God. But one of the other trainers did, and the owner was like, "Don't kick my dog." I'm gonna do anything I gotta do to get your little dog or big dog, any kind of dog. Any dog away from me. Like get away because
because you know what?
It's gonna be a lot better than this dog attaching to your dog. So
yeah. And I interrupted you there, so I want to reiterate that really quick. Us kicking a dog is way better than a dog fight happening. Just reiterating that, right? Because I know, like, in that situation, don't hesitate to kick another dog. You injuring my dog or my dog injuring you is going to be a vet visit. Me kicking you in your face is going to be a yelp and you run away. Unless you're the dog who attacked me and then you just, keep going. But beside the point, let me read Doris's comment, and then I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Were you?
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to read Doris's comment, and then I got an email question again. She said, and it happened, we were in York at the park too. but I know what to do because we practiced it and it happened in training.
It sure did.
That's a story I thought you were gonna tell because
Oh
I
my
think I
gosh.
remembered you telling me it happened with her too, and then you started talking about Rhode Island.
No, and I felt bad too because Doris saw it in action. I just go into mode and I didn't talk to
Wasn't
Doris.
that dog wasn't the dog like following you around the park?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it was following us and saying and I don't even remember if I had Sadie or something. I don't
Oh,
remember.
you had when you. Oh yeah, no,
I
because you
had
were
a
training. You were training somebody, and she was with you, right?
Yeah, I had a dog. I don't remember who. And she had Nash. And this dog comes up and I just kept walking. I'm like, heel, and I kept walking. And I felt bad because I didn't yell to Doris, like, hey, just because I'm just in the moment.
You had to do it. Oh my
And she's
goodness,
like,
that's crazy.
yeah, she's like, oh, thank God. She's like, I just watched what you did and I did it. And I'm like, okay, good, because I felt bad I didn't say
Right.
anything. Oh God.
Oh yes, it was with
Of course
Jack.
it was Jack.
Oh yeah, because Jack was like freaking leash reactive. Oh my gosh, I love that. No, Doris is awesome. So of course she was just following your lead there.
I'm sorry, now you can read her opinion.
Let me see. So, a response to the email question we answered here a second ago. She says, "Thank you both so much. This sounds awful to do now, as she's won, but I will try. Now, I don't want her to associate her crate with punishment, is why I never did that before." And then, second part, can you explain how to leash her in the house? Is it to me or what? Thanks so much.
So did she say she felt bad doing it now that she's won?
It sounds awful to do now as she's almost won, but I'll try.
Oh.
So yeah.
So the good thing about dogs is they live in the moment. It's really awesome. So we as the human we're gonna feel bad about X, Y, and Z, whatever we think we feel bad about. Whereas the dog's gonna be like, oh, I can't do this anymore? No. Oh, okay. Well, okay, I'll do this now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So as long as you stay consistent, she might be like, well, this is weird because it's a picture change, but you stay consistent and then she'll just follow into whatever routine you make for her. The crate is a punishment. So I don't use the crate as a punishment per se. That would be like, oh, look, the dog chewed up my sweater. In the crate you go. I don't do that. I use the crate as an accountability holder. Right? So let's say I need to take a shower because I stink. I can't let my dog out because I know you're going to make a crappy decision right now because you're not trained yet. So, to be fair to you and me, I'm going to put you in your crate because I know you're just going to nap. Or if you don't, we can talk about that later. But you could just chill out in your kennel. And then once I'm done with my shower, you can come out and we can have fun or we can do structure or whatever. But it's not using the kennel as a punishment. I'm just using it as a way to hold you accountable. It's a placeholder, right? So I know you're going to be good in the kennel while I take my shower.
Mm-hmm.
I know you'll be bad out of your kennel if I take my shower. So why set us both up for failure when I'd rather set us up for success? The leashing, you will literally just have a leash dragging unless you have no way to block off your rooms. So like my living room, I would have to have 2 baby gates to block off my room. Without those baby gates, the dogs could just walk wherever, and I would still have to follow the dog whether you're dragging a leash or not, right? That's annoying. So you could block off those halls so that the dog's in the room with you, still dragging a leash. That way, if she gets something, you can correct her. If you don't have that ability to block off those walls to keep the dog in the same room with you, then you can tie it back to something. So I have my TV stand right over there, and I have a place bed in front of it. So if the dog I'm watching isn't fully trained yet, I will have a leash on the collar, and then I'll have the leash looped around the leg of the TV stand. So that way, if the dog gets up and breaks place, they can't. They'll get corrected. So you can either have it tied back to something, you have them just dragging the leash in your house and have the rooms blocked off so that the dog's in the same room with you. Or yeah, you could have it attached to you if you want, if there's nothing else to do. You could just literally have your foot stepping on it. And then you could decide how much of a leash you want. So you could just have a regular 6-foot leash, but depending on the situation, if you wanted your dog to have more space, you could do a 15-foot leash. But again, however much leash your dog has, they're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
So just be mindful of that.
Right. Yeah. No. I think all of that sounded great. Let me just see if there's anything. Um, so yeah, I mean, you commented on this, but feeling bad about putting her in the crate. She's not earned the freedom to roam your house right now. She's shown you over and over and over that that's a freedom she can't handle. And like Susan mentioned before, that's really, really dangerous. Her chewing on and eating things. She could get really sick from that. So it's not as a punishment, it's not any of that. It's you can't handle that right now. So you're going to have her out of the crate with the leash on while she's supervised to show her, hey, you can be out and not destroy my house. If you do, there's going to be a consequence. But you have to give her these new pictures, right? Because her whole memory bank right now of pictures is doing what she wants, when she wants, chewing your house up. These pictures suck. So let's pile in a bunch of really good ones first. And this is like a little side note, but feeling like I gotta figure out how to word this. I'm gonna pull up a different text message because I just told this to a client the other day. So I had a client who's a puppy, and just like you said, puppies and untrained dogs, very same, right? So this dog's working on potty training. Your dog is working on not chewing up your house, right? So she says she felt bad. She feels like she's been keeping them locked up all day. And what I said is we have to, like, our mindset is important because we're humans. So if you're feeling bad, that it's like if you're feeling like it's going to be a punishment or that you're being mean or this, that, or the other, psychologically speaking, you're not going to want to keep doing it. But if you shift your mindset to be like, you know what, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this so she doesn't get sick destroying my house. I'm doing this so she can learn better manners. I'm doing this because she hasn't earned that freedom yet. And then that'd be a goal you work towards. I think that's going to help. But that's something I've been talking to my clients a lot about recently is adjusting our mindsets. Because if we're like, oh no, I don't want to correct my dog, you're not going to correct your dog and you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to correct, leading to inconsistency and poor training. So just got to throw that out there. With any training you do, you got to not think of it as it's something crappy.
It has to feel right to you. And
yeah,
I love that mindset thing.
Yeah, got to adjust our mindsets. And the crate is safe space. It's not punishment. It's like, oh, hang out in here because just like Susan said, I know in here you're okay. You're safe. You're not destroying my house. And again, you're safe. You're not going to be eating something that's going to be hurting you.
I love it too. Because I know you're a normal human owner, but me as a trainer, I utilize the kennel for turning off. Because when the dog's out of the kennel, they're never off until they get duration work. Once the dog is like, oh, I know what place means, I know what down means, and they can fully relax into those commands, they don't turn off.
Yeah.
Some dogs more than others. Some dogs will be like, after you play for a minute. But Francis, he wasn't off. It took him 2 weeks to realize he could
stay. Oh my God, Francis.
So when he was out of the kennel, he was on. He was you could tell he just wasn't turned off. And then you put him in the kennel and he's like,
thank God I was exhausted.
Yeah, he could. It's like a toddler. It really is like a toddler. So I can't tell you how to feel. You have to be comfortable with, whatever training you end up doing. So if it doesn't feel right to you, that's okay. But dang, where was I going with that? It sounded real good. And then
really good.
But yeah, you gotta feel good about it. But it's their place to
bedroom.
Just sleep and relax, and they don't have to do nothing. It's yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say, and the other benefit to the crate stuff is schedule. So your training dogs, they're in their crates throughout the day, not as a punishment, but schedule. So you are in your crate overnight. We wake up, we go potty, we do some work, you go in your crate. Come out, you do some potty, we work, we play, you go in your crate. Schedule. And that's that helps dogs feel a lot more confident too. So I don't know if the chewing is just boredom or learned behavior or anxiety. But having like a schedule, like cool, not like, okay, not okay at 6 o'clock, if I don't have my dinner, I'm going to start freaking out and barking and being rude, but like knowing that like your life has consistency. I go in my kennel, I come out and I've got a leash on and I hang out, and then we have playtime, and then I have dinner, and then I go in my kennel.
Again, about like we've been talking a lot about the kennel, but
I like the kennel.
It makes me think about I think it's more of like a faux pas society thing that we feel bad for kenneling our dogs. Like it's just a natural like, oh, you crate your dog, you know, kind of thing. But again, thinking of like toddlers, so the kennel is like this space, depending on how big the dog is, right? Your house is just a ginormous kennel, or a room. So it's like a kennel is like this, and then your room is just a bigger kennel, and then your house is just a bigger kennel, because sometimes people will put their dog in a room because they don't feel so bad because then they're not in a kennel. But your room is a gigantic kennel, and your house is just a giganticer kennel. They have to earn that freedom, just like a baby sleeps in a crib. You can't just put your baby to sleep on the floor. You can't do that.
You can't?
No. I mean, you shouldn't. I don't know. I don't have a baby, but I'm pretty sure you don't do that. You start small. And then once it's like, okay, you grow up, you're advancing, blah, blah, blah. Now we'll give you a little bit more freedom. What do you do with that, right? And more freedom. But you have to start with the baby steps first. And it's okay that your dog's a year old. Like, they train up just as well. Yeah, any age. So, but you have to start with those baby steps first before you can like advance.
I like it.
Yeah. This was a good show.
It was. We had a lot to talk about today.
We did.
Do you have anything you're thinking, want to say, get off your chest, whatever? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for asking your super awesome question. Doris says great analogy, so thank you. I think it was yours. I don't know. You were talking about the crate.
Yeah, I'm planning.
You did it. I'm the analogy queen, but like you got this one.
I know.
But yeah, thank you everybody for watching and for asking your questions. We really love that. Anybody watching a replay, again, I'll say this again because Susan didn't remind me to say it in the beginning. Leave your questions. Like I've had clients tell me before that they don't even think to ask a question when they're watching the replay because we're not live anymore. But we'll still get the notification. So ask your question. We'll write it down. And next week when we're live, I'll read it just like I did these emails today. Because Q&As like this is why we do this, because we got to answer a lot of questions today. So that was really fun. So thanks for watching. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Rachel Kohler Dog Training and Pack Leader Dog. Everybody have a great night and happy training.
Night.